Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Look, the topic that I wanted to discuss with you all today is the topic of expectations. And oftentimes, we find ourselves in situations with people in which they fail to meet our expectations of them, and then what we do as a consequence is we get upset and we blame them. And I want to explain to you why this is a very important topic. Oftentimes, when we enter into relationships with people or deal with people that we are in relationships with, and I'm not talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about business relationships, relationships that we have with our family members, relationships that we have with our homeboys or our homegirls, or our religious brothers or sisters, and so on and so forth. But what we do when we enter into these relationships, we don't set or articulate to them our expectations of them. And then what happens is that not only do we fail to articulate our expectations to them, but we fail to give them the opportunity to say whether or not they can measure up to those expectations. And then what happens is that when they fall short or fail to meet those expectations or fail to measure up to those expectations that we have placed on them, we get upset and we blame them and we doom them. But in reality, we should be holding no one accountable but ourselves. So what is the prescription? What we should do is when we enter into relationships with people, right? Whether it's romantic, whether we're dealing with family members, whether it's a business relationship and so on and so forth, articulate those expectations. What do we expect out of these individuals in this relationship, right? And then give them the opportunity to say whether or not they can measure up to those expectations, right? Whether they can meet them. Because if they articulate at the outset of our dealings, listen, I can or can't do that. If they say that they can't do that, then we can modify our expectations or say, well, we're going to continue to go on about our life and you go on about your life, and we're still going to maintain at least some type of healthy interactions as a consequence, right? So what I'm saying is, save yourself the headache. Stop putting unrealistic expectations on people, right? And stop putting expectations on people without giving them the opportunity to say whether or not they can live up to those standards. And when you do that, the quality of your life will be that much more healthier, right? Expectations, this is what we're talking about. Expectations. What are expectations, right? And can the people in your life measure up to the expectations that you placed upon them? Right? It is oppressive, right? For you to place expectations upon someone and then get upset with them when they don't measure up to those expectations. Majid Asif.